Djokovic's eye-catching message to Alcaraz about his serve, "You have to pay me, you know?" Both players are progressing smoothly round after round at the Australian Open. After his latest match, the player from Murcia recalled Noel and a curious anecdote the two shared before the start of the year. One of the most significant changes Carlos Alcaraz has introduced to his game looking ahead to 2026 is his serve. Without a doubt, it is one of the most striking aspects of his tennis, something that did not take long to catch the attention of Novak Djokovic, who joked a few days ago about asking him for royalties due to its similarity to his own. Last Thursday, the Mercian followed up on the joke after his third-round match. In the early hours of Sunday, after his match against Tommy Paul, Alcaraz spoke about it again. Carlos revealed a great moment with the Serbian before the start of the season. "It was funny because I was in preseason and I didn't realize that my motion was actually very similar to Noel's serve." He then commented on the most striking part of the story: "I just woke up one day, checked my phone and had a message from Djokovic saying, 'All right, you have to pay me, you know?' for the serve. Before the season starts." That's how the player from El Palmar recounted the curious conversation he had with the Serbian a few weeks ago regarding his new serving style. An anecdote that Alcaraz finds fun to share with other players and that once again shows the great relationship the veteran has with the Mercian. Despite their good vibes, they could end up being rivals on court if they continue advancing through the rounds. They would meet in a hypothetical final, although for that to happen, Noel would have to get past Jannik Sinner, or whoever beats him. A scenario that seems somewhat more likely than a few weeks ago given the high level Djokovic is showing in this first Grand Slam of the year. Djokovic asked for money, Alcaraz responds. Carlos Alcaraz became the first player to reach the quarterfinals of the men's draw at the 2026 Australian Open. He played a superb match to defeat American Tommy Paul 7-6, 6, 6-4 and 7-5 in 2 hours 45. He awaits, on Tuesday, either Australian Alex de Minaur or Kazakh Alexander Bublik. The world number one enjoyed a very complete match, in which he raised his level while also knowing how to be patient in building the victory. He will have a third chance to get past quarterfinals that tripped him up in 2024 against German Alexander Zverev and in 2025 against Serbian Novak Djokovic. With the latter he maintains a healthy, verbal sparring over the variations the Spaniard has introduced into his serve. Videos of his preseason work, compared with Noel's service motion, revealed the similarity, the copy. Djokovic, sarcastic, sent Alcaraz a message asking for copyright. "I hope he rewards me for every ace he hits in the tournament, that he gives me a share of his earnings," the Serbian said in Melbourne. Alcaraz replied with the same humor. "One day I woke up, looked at my phone and saw his message saying I had to pay him. I've got the contract signed to give it to him as soon as I see him here in Melbourne," he said on court. More seriously in the technical analysis, the Spaniard acknowledged that yes, you can see certain similarities, it's obvious. "I've always liked his serve, his easy motion. Making changes I felt comfortable, but I didn't copy his serve, which doesn't mean I haven't taken inspiration," Alcaraz said. He insisted that it is a shot I'm still working on. "I'm increasing my percentage, but I have to keep looking for things, in every match, in every practice. I'm feeling comfortable, but that doesn't mean there isn't a lot left to improve." Djokovic gets serious about Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner. "It's not that I'm going match by match, it's that." The most decorated player in tennis history, who is chasing his 25th major in Melbourne, says he feels very good physically. Without playing the round of 16 after Jakub Mensik withdrew from the Australian Open with an abdominal injury, Novak Djokovic gained a rest day that could give him that extra plus to spring a surprise in Melbourne. In the quarterfinals he will face Lorenzo Musetti, who defeated American Taylor Fritz in straight sets. And at 38 years old, Noel claims to be in his best form in recent years. "I feel very good, especially physically. I'm probably in the best shape I've been in for a long time," he said in statements published by Punto de Break. Not playing since the ATP 250 in Athens and withdrawing from Adelaide has helped him arrive in better condition for the first Grand Slam of the year. "I expected it, especially if I take into account the time I had to rest and prepare for this Grand Slam. The pieces have fallen into place naturally," he explained. "It's not that I'm going match by match, it's that I'm going day by day. I wake up, see how I feel, decide whether to train or not, and organize myself based on my schedule. It won't be the first or the last time it's like this," he added about his new approach. In recent times it has been said that Djokovic's biggest handicap when facing Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner in a 5-set match is his physical condition, so watch out for the Serbian in Australia. With his 25th major firmly in his sights, he is sure to be a major threat. Carlos Alcaraz will have a third consecutive chance this Tuesday to get past the quarterfinals, the round where he fell short in the previous two editions, against German Alexander Zverev and Serbian Novak Djokovic. It's not easy to face rivals of this level at the Australian Open, says the Spaniard, who considers himself ready to overcome that barrier. I would trade 3 titles to win here, he stated. He is obsessed with conquering the Grand Slam. That would mean that, at 22 years old, he would become the youngest player in history to hold all 4 titles. He would also be the youngest to win 7 crowns in the professional era. As his opponent, Australian Alex de Minaur, against whom he holds a favorable 5-0 head-to-head record. He also beat him in the exhibition match they played beforehand at the same venue, Rod Laver Arena. Carlos Alcaraz fears the worst and prepares himself mentally and physically for it. I only worry about what I can control, but I have to be ready for anything, he comments, referring to 2 factors, de Minaur's home advantage and the weather forecast, which points to 40 degrees Celsius and the possible activation of the extreme heat protocol. I know they'll close the roof if it's too hot. I have to accept it and simply try to play my best indoor tennis, under a closed roof. A circumstance that theoretically benefits de Minaur more, due to his style of play, even though he is also used to Alicante summers. Alcaraz prefers fast playing conditions, a lively ball, under the sun. He is used to it, physically he is a powerhouse. In case the match were played in stifling temperatures but not at level 5 to close the roof, he trained at midday on Monday, at maximum exposure to the sun's rays. Although he suspected what officially happened hours later, the match will be played in the local night session, which he only experienced in his opening match of this edition. With less climatic severity. The last match of the day, around 9 p.m. in Melbourne, 11 a.m. in Spain. After the Gauff-Svitolina match, which starts at 9 a.m. Whatever it is, I'll stay focused on my own game, ready to face it, so it doesn't affect my tennis, Alcaraz concludes, also clear-minded that de Minaur will have the crowd on his side. I know it's nothing personal, I understand it. The crowd will push, though not as much as in Paris. He will always remember the bitter experience against Hugo Gaston, when a newly arrived Alcaraz cried due to the constant booing. He didn't understand such a hostile atmosphere, but it toughened him definitively for the future. He spent the eve of the quarterfinal clash relaxed, with the usual work on court, as well as the customary jokes with his coaching team. A relaxed atmosphere. It is a good moment to break the Australian Open quarterfinal barrier. And the world number 1 knows it perfectly well. Surprising, the chair umpire forced Alcaraz to remove the wristband he had been wearing throughout the entire tournament. Alcaraz was heading to his side of the court after completing the coin toss and posing with Tommy Paul, the usual protocol before a match, when the chair umpire, Maria Sakake, noticed the Spaniard's wristband. Under it he was wearing a black band commonly used by elite athletes. A physical tracking device. Sakake told him he had to remove it, and Alcaraz did so without protest. The sequence is not especially striking in itself, but it is jarring given the stage of the tournament. It happened in the round of 16, after Alcaraz had already played 3 matches wearing the band without any chair umpire saying otherwise. The reason for its removal stems from an existing restriction in tennis regarding the transfer of data off the court, in order to prevent covert coaching, among other things. By contrast, items such as watches that simply tell the time and are not connected to anything are allowed. Alcaraz's device does not even have a screen. It records data such as heart rate, recovery, level of exertion, or sleep quality. It works by linking to an app and aims to optimize the athlete's performance. It is becoming increasingly widespread among elite athletes. Alcaraz had to remove it after having played with it against Walton, Hanfmann, and Moutet. Setting aside the questionable decisions, the Spaniard reached the quarterfinals for the 3rd consecutive year after defeating a combative Tommy Paul. He reaches his familiar ceiling at the Grand Slam Down Under. There he awaits de Minaur or Bublik after producing a complete match with an extra gear compared to his previous victories. He reaches the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam for the 13th time at the age of 22, something no one had achieved in history. There you have it. It was a smart health and fitness wristband called Whoop, which has no screen and monitors recovery, physical effort, and sleep, among other things. It also analyzes metrics such as heart rate and blood oxygen through a membership model. It is used mainly by professional athletes. But why couldn't Alcaraz play with it? Because in professional tennis, devices that facilitate the transmission of data off the court or external communication are restricted, in order to prevent coaching violations and betting-related risks. What is not prohibited, for example, is playing with a watch that only tells the time or does not communicate with other devices such as mobile phones, tablets, or computers, like the one Rafa Nadal always wore.